Peace, love, light, strength, healing to everyone tuned in once again. Once again, I thank you and I appreciate you for tuning in. To all my divine beings, I would like to send you peace, love, and light on your journey. You see, the divine keeps blessing us because we keep our intentions pure. Peace, love, and light to all my divine beings. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. I hope you've been sleeping right. I hope you've been breathing right. And most importantly, I hope you've been eating right. See, at a point in time, we all have to wake up. We have to realize that the foods that we eat directly affects us. It affects the way we think, and it affects the way we feel. Right? It affects the way we think, and it affects the way we feel. You see, this evening I actually have a very, very important message that I'd like to share with you. I just encourage you to stay throughout the entire video until we get to the point. I hope life has been a blessing for you. I hope life has been a dream for you. Right? See, I like to speak about the mind because I believe that the mind is actually the most important thing that actually exists. You ever heard the phrase, conquer your mind or conquer yourself and you conquer the world? I believe that with everything. Because I believe actually the mind is the world. The mind is the world. If you conquer your mind, there's nothing really that the outside world can do to affect you. Right? Conquer the mind first and you conquer the world. Because you see, we actually live in a times where our mind is actually going against us. Our mind is actually going against us. Right? And we are constantly being bombarded with all different kinds of influences to keep us on that state, on that low vibrational state. Right? We are always being bombarded with outside influences that are actually keeping us on a low vibrational state. Right? So it has our mind working against us. And again, mental health. A lot of people walk around, depressed, not knowing what to do with themselves or with their life even. Some people wake up and they ask themselves, what is the purpose of life? But I'd like to let you know that life is worth living and life is amazing. If you are alive today, if you are actually alive today, if you are watching this video right now, into 3 minutes, you're blessed. The Most High have a plan for you. The Most High have a plan for you. If you're watching this video up to this point, you're blessed. The Most High have a plan for you. See, you have your own shadow works to do. You have your own fights, your own demons to face. Nobody can face this for you, but you cannot run from your shadows. You cannot run from your challenges in life. First thing you have to understand is that we were actually born into a system. We were actually born into a system. Right? Now we all know the system is corrupt. So when you were born as a baby, you didn't know much. Alright? You didn't know nothing. So you were born, you were influenced by the outside people, your parents. They taught you how to speak, taught you how to walk. You went to school for a couple of years, program you some stuff in your head. You watch other people, you try to imitate. And you get to a point, you actually get older and start seeing life for yourself. But I think we all have to come to a point in life where we have to realize that actually we have been programmed. See, the mind is a very powerful thing. Now, when you're actually at the age of a baby, From the moment you're born to 11, 12 years old, your brain is very, very vulnerable. It's actually like a sponge. Where it's actually it's actually eager to learn, if you understand. So it grabs faster. Alright? So we actually have a lot of programmed habits within us that are probably not actually contributing to our life or the life we want to live. Right? We already have a lot of programmed habits within us that are not contributing to the life that we want. So that's where I come to this point and I say we have to unlearn and relearn. Right? Because your mind have programs that are actually going against itself. The mind has programs that are actually going against itself. Alright? So we have to get to a point where we have to unlearn most of the things that we were taught and relearn. See, the Most High blessed every single one of us. Every human being is destined for greatness. Every human being is destined for greatness. See, life wasn't meant for struggles. Life wasn't meant for pain and hardship. Probably pain, because with pain we actually grow. But depression and all that, that's not what life is supposed to be. Don't ever make anybody make you believe that that is a part of life. That is not a part of life. You understand? See, there only exists a stream of well-being. Think of it like a river, like an ocean of well-being. See, in life there only exists a river of well-being, and every single human being, is actually capable of tapping into the stream of well-being. You understand? But when we actually block off or resist the stream, that's when we actually experience depression. We experience anxiety, jealousy, and all those negative emotions. But they only exist a stream of well-being. They don't exist a stream of of negativity, and it's when we actually resist the stream of well-being, is when we actually experience all these negative feelings and these negative emotions. Right? So I would just like to encourage you. Probably you feel like you've had enough, because a lot of people actually come to me and tell me like, what's the point of life? Like, what's the point of life? You wake up and I say life is actually what you make it. Life is actually what you make it. And that's actually facts. Life is actually what you make it. You actually have free will to make life what you want. Now, most of us are actually not controlling our own life. We are actually just like robots. You understand? Because we already have programs set in our mind. So we just go with the flow. See, most of us are so caught up in the survival mode that we actually forget that we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience. Most of us are so caught up in the survival mode that we actually forgot that we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience. Life is an experience. See, you didn't come here to stress out yourself. You didn't come here to worry about the 9 to 5. You didn't come here to worry about that girl cheating on you, that man lying to you. You check why you know. We didn't come here for these kind of things. We came here to be divine, to express, to create on this realm. But most of us are so caught up in the survival mode that we actually forgot that we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience. This is why I say that you are powerful. This is why I say that you are powerful, because we are not the body. We are what exists within the body. Now, when I say you are powerful, I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about what's inside the body. That's where the power comes from inside, from within. Right? And that's why I say you are powerful. We are all powerful. We are all powerful. Right? So we have to actually tap in and realize that the power have always been with us. And always remember that we have been, from the day you were born, you entered into a system. You entered into a system from the day that you were born. You have to accept it. You have to accept it. Right? And realize that you have been programmed to think, to operate, to move. And the first thing you have to do is unlearn and start to relearn. Right? Cancel out the outside noise, the outside influences. Cancel them out. You have the power to create your own world, to create your own reality. Conquer your mind, you conquer the world. The mind is your world. Your perception, the way that you go out and see things. You understand? The way that you go out and see things. It's the same world. The sun rises and set every day. Right? It's the same world every day, but you experience every day differently because, again, the mind is your world. Now there's a lot of factors that actually contribute to the destruction of the mind. There's a lot of factors that actually contribute to the destruction of the mind. Like the foods we eat, the energies we hang around, the things we always looking up to. Many things. They see there's a million ways the system is attacking us. But one of the most powerful things you can do to liberate yourself, to liberate your mind, is by changing your diet. Changing your diet is actually one of the fastest ways to destroy a generational curse. Because as we know, things always pass down from generation to generation. Now, if you don't like how the way your family have been operating, first thing I like to let you know is one of the fastest ways of destroying a generational curse is by changing your diet. Now, I know I'm moving very fast. Please stay with me. See, we have to understand that what we eat directly affects the way we think. What we eat directly affects the way we think. Directly affects the way we think. You understand? So you have to ask yourself whether you're eating to live, but you're eating to die. It's true. You have to ask yourself whether we're eating to live or we're eating to die. Right? Because most of the foods that the system provides are actually destroying us. Right? But I'll speak on one aspect this evening. See, changing your diet is one of the fastest ways to destroy a generational curse. Right? Because it's true that diseases can be passed down, but 9 times out of 10, the reason why it's passed down is because we adopt the same eating habits. So we think the same way, and if there's a disease that runs in the family, sometimes, well, most times, it's contracted. Right? Disease is actually a real thing. You see, I'm moving on again. Stay with me again. I'm moving on again. Disease is actually a real thing. Right? For example, I would say type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, that's actually a lifestyle related disease. Right? So 80% of people that actually have type 2 diabetes are actually overweight. So they consume a lot of foods, probably a lot of fatty foods, you know. So you have to understand we get to an age where our fat cells don't change. You ever realize that probably people that are actually they say 25 and older. Haven't you ever realized that nowadays it's so easy for those that are actually 25 and older, 26, 27, yeah? Haven't you realized it's so easy for you to gain weight? Because at that age, our fat cells don't change. So when you're actually constantly eating fatty foods, you actually cause the fat cells to swell up so much that actually it becomes bloated to the point where it starts dropping out fat into the bloodstream for the type 2 diabetes, right? And these people, again, as I said, type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle related disease. So these people actually don't really do much activities. You understand? Do much physical activities to burn out the fat, because now fat has actually entered the bloodstream. You understand? Another one I'll say is cancer, or for people who love the meat, the red meat, the processed red meat, sausages, ham, salami, right? Hot dogs, cancer food, cancer food. And that's what we have a variety of, right? Cancer food. For people that have actually high cholesterol levels in the blood. Again, coming back to the fat, um, eating a lot of food that contains a lot of saturated fat. You understand? But saturated fat. So you have to understand. You see, saturated fat actually causes the liver. It causes the liver to release more cholesterol than is necessary. Now, examples of food that contain saturated fat, I would say things like fatty meats, cheese, butter, these kind of animal products. So we eat a lot of saturated fat that actually causes our liver to produce more cholesterol than necessary. Now the job of the liver is actually to regulate chemicals in the blood. So when we eat saturated fat, the liver produces more cholesterol, right? Then that cholesterol actually contributes, sorry. So that cholesterol actually contributes to the formation of plaque. Stay with me, right? So the excess cholesterol, so there's a rise in the cholesterol level in the blood, causes the formation of plaque, which then causes a resistance in our arteries, causing things like heart attacks, strokes, and a variety again. Right? So we have to always keep asking ourselves whether we're eating to live or we're eating to die. Most of us don't know what we're eating. We can all be healthy. All right. So again, I would recommend for those people who actually trying to burn fat, consume some cloves. Add some cloves to your food. All right. Add some cloves to your food. Ginger. Ginger helps break down fat. Cloves as well. Drink some cloves tea. Helps break down fats and starch in the body. All right. Because what we eat directly affects the way we think. We have to make sure that we functioning 100% up there. You understand? What we eat directly affects how we think. So are we eating to live, or are we eating to die? Life is worth living. We all have access to the stream of well-being. We all have a chance to be successful and live with joy and abundance. It's just a matter of choice. It's just a matter of choice. It's just a matter of choice. As I said, from the day you were born into a system. So you're actually gonna, if you're gonna choose to just continue with the program, or you're gonna wake up and realize you have a lot of things to unlearn and you have a lot of things to learn. Remember, the stream of well-being is available to you. In life, there only exists a stream of well-being. There's not a stream of destruction. It's when we resist the stream of well-being, that's when we experience destruction. The Most High wants everyone to live fulfilled. Remember, life is an experience. An experience has an end. Remember, or as you're chasing the money, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Every experience have an end. You can choose to live it fulfilled, or you can choose to die empty. Remember, we are all co-creators of our own life. So let's create.